There's a strange energy around the Rogansphere right now, where every conversation about comedy scenes feels less like a discussion about jokes, audiences, or craft, and more like a proxy war over politics, identity, and cultural power. And the latest Joe Rogan experience with Ehsan Ahmad taps straight into that tension, sometimes thoughtfully, sometimes a little too conveniently. If you spend any time online, you already know the narrative. Austin comedy, especially anything orbiting Rogan and the Mothership, gets framed as this right-wing bunker where everyone's apparently required to tell the same 5 culture war jokes and pretend kettlebells are a personality trait. Rogan pushes back hard on that framing. He calls it projection coming from left-leaning comedy spaces where conservatives often do get iced out socially and professionally, so people assume Austin must be running the same playbook in reverse.
It's a fun time to be alive. One of the things that's really exciting about the Mothership is for someone like me who's been doing comedy for so long, it's really exciting to watch people's careers launch. You know, like see guys like Cam Patterson go from getting a spot on Kill Tony to being a regular on Kill Tony to being on fucking Saturday Night Live. Boom.
It's crazy. Like some of them, like Christina Mariani now just like sells out rooms at the Comedy Store all the time.
She's killing it.
And then you have like Peyton Ruddy and like Dylan Carlino. These are just guys who were just at the club and just made a way, like social media wise.
And you get to see people get just tighter and better. Like McCusker's new set, like what he did last night. Really fucking good, man. Super solid. Really fun. It's just like, we got a good thing, man. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's just a fun place to be around. Everyone just working jokes. That's what it is, really.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There is such this narrative outside of the ship about what Austin comedy is, and it's just really just a bunch of people just doing jokes.
The narrative is only with jealous people. It's not based on any reality. It's not based on people who go there and hang out.
Right. Well, it's always these people who love to talk about Austin, but they don't talk to anyone in Austin.
One of the more interesting ideas that comes up in the episode is this notion of the walled garden. The idea is that Austin comics look like they're genuinely enjoying themselves, collaborating, building a supportive ecosystem. And from the outside, that can trigger resentment.
It's like there's a bunch of comics willing to hang out and talk to you.
I think I've told you this before, but I have a friend of mine who's, you know, somewhat of a philosopher, an online friend. I don't even know what he looks like. We've been going back and forth for years. But he warned me about this a long time ago. He said, you've created a walled garden. And he goes, and you've got all these friends, and you're all supporting each other, and you're all having fun. But there's a lot of people that feel on the outside, and they feel like left out of it. And so they're like, fuck those people. That party sucks. You know, it's kind of along those lines. And, you know, if you could find some connections to other negative things, you know, like me and Tony, we have this connection to Trump, and so does Shane. And, you know, there's all sorts of that, oh, fucking, you got to be a right-winger to be, and then the narrative comes up, oh, you got to tell jokes about fucking trans people. You have to, like, you can't be a liberal. You can't be a this. You can't be like...
There's probably some truth there. Creative scenes have always generated jealousy and insecurity, especially when one city starts pulling attention and momentum. But there's also a blind spot in that logic. Sometimes people aren't upset because they weren't invited into the garden. Sometimes they just don't like what's growing inside it. Not everyone wants to be part of a scene dominated by loud personalities, culture war energy, or podcast-driven clout economies. That doesn't automatically make them bitter or dishonest. Sometimes it's just taste. Sometimes it's politics. Sometimes it's fatigue.
Well, that the whole like you have to be a right winger. That's like, to me, that's like massive projection, because there are these spaces where like if you're a right winger in comedy, like there's like leftist spaces that you just can't be in.
For sure, you'll get pushed out.
Right,
you'll get treated badly. More importantly, whereas at the Mothership, like that fucking green room, like 80% of the time, it's mostly like progressive people.
Yeah. Oh, and
mostly
then
left-wing people.
A lot of people. Most of the people who work there are mostly left-wing.
Yeah.
It's a place where but because right-wing people, I guess, are allowed to be here, or like also allowed to be here, it's all of a sudden this right-wing Nazi haven.
Well, it's like, what does that even mean?
Right.
Like, what is right-wing?
This tension spills directly into the ongoing Austin versus New York rivalry, which Rogan openly calls one of the dumbest arguments in comedy right now. On one side, you've got people like Louis J. Gomez routinely clowning the Austin scene, suggesting that many of the comics who moved there couldn't hack it in New York. On the other side, you've got Tony Hinchcliffe publicly downplaying Los Angeles and positioning Austin as the new center of gravity for comedy talent.
This New York versus Austin thing is the stupidest fucking thing of all time. Like, they should both be awesome. Who cares?
Yeah, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary, like, infight. It's like catty girl fighting. It's like, why we both clearly can exist in a space where we can also help each other. Right. The New York guys are always here, and I feel like we're always there.
But the point is, what Tony and Lewis were going back and forth, and Lewis said, well, L.A. isn't even in consideration anymore as what's the best place for comedy in the country. And Tony goes, agreed. And why do you think that is? What do you think happened? Where'd those people go? And Lewis is like, oh, shit.
Yeah. But, you know, I will say this because I was just in L.A. I like where the L.A. scene's at. It's rebuilding stronger.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's the store. It's LA.
The store.
It's Hollywood. It goes through dips. It's done it before. When I got there, it was at a low. When I came in '94, the OR was half empty. Main room was never full. And then there was no big talent there. It's always like that. It comes, it goes. New people come up. It's legendary. It's got a vibe to it. It creates comedy just by existing.
His argument is simple. Comedy benefits from having multiple strong hubs. Why would anyone want fewer cities where comics can grow, experiment, and build audiences? The old model of everyone fighting over one golden industry carrot doesn't make sense in a decentralized internet era. And honestly, he's not wrong there. Scarcity thinking still dominates how a lot of comedians mentally operate, even though the business itself has changed. Podcasts, direct audiences, independent distribution, the infrastructure no longer demands that everyone migrate to one city and beg for permission. But this is also where Rogan's optimism glosses over something important. Yes, access has expanded, but attention and influence still concentrate around a handful of massive platforms and personalities. The Rogansphere isn't just a friendly hang, it has gravitational pull. It shapes careers, booking pipelines, podcast exposure, and audience migration.
It was an interesting place to like be during the day because you could sort of feel it.
Very special place. Very special place. You're never going to take away from that. But the thing is, it's like it should be, and it will be even better than it used to be, I'm sure. But the point is, it's like denying that Austin is an amazing scene is just stupid.
Yes.
It's just stupid.
There's
so many bitches in this world. There's so many bitches. And those bitches never get anything done. They just sit and bitch. And this and that and that and this and that and this. And nothing ever gets done.
Yeah.
They never progress.
Yeah, man. Just video essays. I watch all the video essays.
That's so funny. Why would you watch those?
It's just so funny to me because the whole concept that Austin has ruined comedy is very funny to me because there's so many comics that are blowing up outside everywhere all the time.
It's just silly.
It's
like my friend said. It's a walled garden. That's what it is. It seems like the people are having too much fun. And if you're not there and if you don't have aspirations to be there, you feel bad about it. When I lived in Boston, the store was like Mecca. Like people would talk about it. You know, it's like you had to make the pilgrimage to the Comedy Store. It was one of the first things I did when I came to LA.
Oh, no, it's a big deal. The first time you go there, I remember looking at it and being just the feeling in my heart.
The first time I went there, I hadn't even moved there yet. I went there just to watch. I told them I was a comedian from New York. I'm like, can I go and watch a set? They're like, yeah, sure. And they let me come in, and I sat in the back and watched, and it was like Bodaks. It was terrible. It was really bad. It was like a bunch of cruise ship acts, like a bunch of guys who had the same act from the 1970s. They had never, you know, those dudes that like you'll see them at the store occasionally now that have an act from the 80s. Well, these dudes, it was like a decade earlier.
Yeah, when I worked at La Jolla, there was one guy that they booked that they had like some deal with Mitzi that he got to perform once a year at the La Jolla, and man, you could just tell, man, you haven't changed this act since the 70s.
Yeah.
What this episode ultimately exposes is the widening gap between how the Rogansphere experiences itself internally and how it's perceived externally. Inside, people see collaboration, creative freedom, and community. Outside, many people see a loud cultural machine that often amplifies polarizing personalities, blunt politics, and a self-reinforcing ecosystem that can feel insulated from critique. Both realities can exist at the same time, and this is where my skepticism stays intact. The Rogansphere often wants credit for being open-minded, anti-censorship, and pro-dialogue, but it rarely interrogates how its own incentives shape what gets rewarded, who gets elevated, and which voices quietly drift out of relevance. Community isn't just who you invite into the room, It's who actually feels comfortable staying once they're there.